This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is Simon Schmid, recent graduate of Broadcast Yourself course. Welcome.
Thank you, Brian. I'm so glad to be here. I'm really excited. I'm smiling all over my face, so it's an honor to be here and to talk to you. Have a great conversation to you.
It's great to have you here. Tell us about you. Where are you from? What do you do? What's your background?
Yeah, I'm Swiss. I live in Switzerland together with my girlfriend and her daughter. So for 3 years now, it's my family. I grew up with my grandparents. My parents divorced when I was 4, so I have a really strong bond to my grandparents. And I really try to visit them once a week. So normally on Friday is my day off, and I go having lunch with them, spending the afternoon. So that's really important to me. Family is important. So I got a lot of things from them. I learned a lot. They grew me up. They teach me a lot. Like my grandmother was more like, of course my mother was like more the loving one. Grandfather was more like, probably a lot of fathers are just like my technical parts. So yeah, now I work in health insurance business, and that's why I'm really interested in health. But it's also because I had health problems myself, so especially back problems and headaches, and yeah, that's why I'm here. That's why this journey started for me, really. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
And why join us on this crazy adventure, this 8-week Broadcast Yourself course? Why did you want to start your own show, and then why come to us?
Yeah, it was just like, probably I have to go back a couple of years, 2 years ago. I still was on the search to find a solution to my back problems, and I was surfing through internet, Google everything, and then I just, once I got to London Real page, I saw the interview, or one of the interviews you had with Ido Portal. So I got at the same time in touch with London Real and the movement culture of Ido Portal. So and that was really a game changer for me. I was really interested in this stuff, in this movement stuff. And I tried myself to put in some exercises on a daily basis from Ido, what I've seen on YouTube. And and the other part is just like, I have a good job, I can help people there too. I'm responsible for integrated care to make people work together more closely in the health sector because there's a lack of communication. So people are almost just interested in their patients when they are in their place. But what's happening before or after is not that interesting to them. So I try to figure out ways to put them together. And I just remarked I have like this deep feeling inside me that something is missing, right? So I was looking for my purpose, for fulfillment. And yeah, that's why I knew it for a couple of years, but it was just like under the surface. And then I just saw that you promoted Broadcast Yourself course, and I thought to myself, oh, that could be interesting. And as all bigger decisions, of course, I talked to my girlfriend, said, oh, what do you think? And I was just like, should I do it or not? I was hesitating, of course, because I was facing my fears. Now I had the chance to put my intentions in place, to make something, to do something, and it was fear there. And I really can remember this night. It was Friday, just before you could sign up the last night. So I was outside on the balcony with my girlfriend, with my sister, who was spontaneously there. And then I was talking about my ideas and the Broadcast Yourself course, but I haven't signed up so far. And then they were feeling like the energy that I had, and they were saying, do it, why are you hesitating? Look at you. And I was, oh, maybe you're right. And I just went inside the apartment and did all the stuff and subscribed.
Wow. Well, congrats for pulling the trigger. That's good. And why London Real? Why come do that with us?
Why London Real? First, as I said, I got in touch with you over Ido Portal, that interview, and it's just like, I trust you. I trust London Real. I've seen other people graduating from other courses from you. and it's just like this feeling to be, it's just like a big family. Even though we haven't met before, it's just like a connection there. I think I have a good feeling of how people are. So it's just like intuition. It's just like I felt that energy, and that's why I entered this specific course.
Tell me about the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. It was a huge amount of resistance there because I wasn't on Facebook for a long time. I was there when I was young, then I quit it, then I got it there again. And I'm not a person who normally likes to be in the spotlight, right? I like to be in touch with people, but on a personal way, face to face. That's my thing. So I haven't took a selfie of myself before. I haven't recorded me with the iPhone, so that was really new stuff to me, and it was huge resistance. So I was nervous, really nervous when I was like making this 1 or 2 minute introduction video for the course. But yeah, it's just like with everything. I think that the bigger the challenge is, the bigger the benefit you can reach when you really push through this resistance. And so it was for me. And I just saw a lot of people in the course had the same issues. So it was just like, you could see, he is also telling about this, and he is having resistance too, and he pushed through it too, and why shouldn't I be able to do this? So it's like this group thing too that helped me a lot in these 2 first weeks.
Tell me about your show, and how did you decide on the topic of your show, and how did it go those first few episodes?
Yeah, I love to tell you this story. Yeah, as you know, first I had like always this health thing in my mind. I wanted to talk about how to live a healthy lifestyle, yeah? But as you know, it was like a big topic. I had to niche it down. And then I came up with my own story. I remembered, I was going through a lot of different and tough times. I to different therapists. I tried different exercises. I talked to a lot of people, did radiology and what else. And I thought, people could probably learn something from me. I was almost 10 years trying to figure out how I could solve my problem, my back pain problem. And now with Edo Portal, I had a new approach that worked. So I was thinking, how can I combine back pain and the movement culture into a podcast? And yeah, and also I knew from my work, from office, there's a need out there for solutions. Back pain is a big problem in our society. So yeah, that's how it started, and I think, let's show people opportunities, ways, probably solutions, ideas, how they could overcome their back pains themselves. So just giving them, ideas. But on the other side, I know after a couple of interviews I've done, I'm also not just interested in the topic of back pain, I'm really interested in the person, in the story behind the person. Even though it's not a person who had back pains, but there are other stories too. So I really want to make a symbiosis of those two, back pain, movement, and the story behind each of my guests. And as I know the Swiss health system quite well, my bigger issue, or my bigger vision, you could say, is like probably to happen there a mind shift. And that's why I started with this podcast. There are a lot of workshops out there in Switzerland, I think in other countries too. They're talking every year about more or less the same issues, same things, but it's just in this room, and it's the same people, it's nothing new. So the idea is to share these thoughts, this expertise of all my guests with the world. So to give them input to do something and inspire them to make or to happen a change in the world, in the health sector. That's like my bigger vision.
I love it. I love it. And talk about how I didn't like your first general idea, and then talk about this micro niche. Explain that.
Yeah, it was on a Tuesday's call, and I just the exercise was that we had to niche down our idea, and we had to look at our competition. So first I had this general health idea, and I was going to iTunes and putting in health, and then there was just popping up like, I don't know, 1,000 or more podcasts, and I was thinking, oh, how the hell can can people notice me in this vast amount of other podcasts? And then you were talking to me and saying, what's your problem? And I said, Brian, I cannot, my competition is too big, I cannot watch them all. And you said, yeah, that's a warning sign probably, Simon. You should niche it down more, because when there's so much competition out there, you don't have any listeners. So that's how it started. And of course, I first thought, he probably is right, but you were saying it in such a straight way to me. It was first a bit difficult to handle it, because I wasn't used to it, because I think a lot of people are not that straightforward. They're talking around the real topic. So, but that was appreciated a lot of you and all of your team leaders, and that's what pushed me forward, and also I think all the people who graduated now.
Very nice. I love your niche, by the way. I love it. And so I think you've done a great job going micro.
Yeah.
Tell me about greatest moment on the course, maybe during one of your broadcasts, who knows, and then the biggest challenge.
Greatest moment was just last Wednesday. I interviewed Michael Eisner from our course, ankylosing spondylitis he's having since he's 11 years old. And it just was like this. It was about back pains, but as I mentioned before, then it was the story behind it, and it was breathtaking, sad, inspiring. It was like a lot of emotions coming up inside of me. And also we were doing it over the internet on Skype, and we saw each other's faces, and you even over this distance from Switzerland to him to Canada, it was just like you could feel this energy, right? And it was, you cannot put it in words, I think. It's just that feeling that someone opened up his deepest, thoughts, and it was amazing. And after the interview, he just told me, Simon, how did you come up with all those good questions? You always had like the right question to the right moment. And I just said to him, look, of course, I prepared well. I had my 5 topics I wanted to talk about. I had like maybe 15 questions I wanted to ask, but then it was just go with the flow, right? So we started, and then it totally got into another direction than I thought it would go. But I just stick to it, and it's really important, I think, to stick in this very moment, to be present, and then that's the magic, I think. It was an amazing conversation.
Excellent. That's the beauty of broadcasting.
Yeah.
And what was the toughest moment?
Oh, the toughest moment. What it was? I think like still struggling with tech, with tech stuff. Like almost every time there's something, internet is going down, microphone not working, or like the tech stuff. I think it's I'm struggling still with, but you just have to handle it, and from interview to interview you get better, and next time you're not going to do the same mistake again. Yeah. So
tell me about your fellow classmates. What's it like being in this kind of virtual community of people, like literally from around the world?
Yeah, I just talked this morning with another one of our course, with Tommy Reisner from Finland, about it during breakfast, and it's just like, first I was really skeptical, because it's a lot about, or it's the communication is happening over Facebook and these calls, and I haven't done like a workshop or a course like this before, so I was skeptical. But I saw it yesterday when we were having drinks, like, and talking to each other. It was just like we were family. We haven't met before in person, but it was this energy. It was like, like friends from school, you know, like we would know each other for 20 years or more. It's just like everyone has the same goal, to help people out there, to bring the message out into the world. And I think all of us were vulnerable, and that's how we connected. It was like true, it was real. And so that's what I love about this course.
Yeah, it's always strange because when I see all of you come together, first of all, I feel like I know you, and they all know each other, and it is like we're old schoolmates. And I think you maybe get to know people better in this format than even if we had met every week in a place, because there's something about when you kind of confess in these vlogs and you open up and you post these things in the group that maybe you wouldn't even say that stuff to people in person.
I think so too, and probably it's also because at first you think, I do not know this person, or not good, so why I shouldn't bother what he thinks about me. So probably that's a good thing to it, right? Yeah. Because when you're talking to your best friends, you're a little bit ashamed probably of your thoughts, and what is he gonna think about it? And I think that's a good thing about this approach.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, because since it's so anonymous in the beginning, you think, I'll just say whatever I want. But then you open up and everyone gets closer because everyone is so honest. It's a very weird dynamic.
Yeah.
And we've been doing it for almost 3 years and we're just starting to understand it. But what's true is it's super special. And you know, you already have these really strong relationships with people in this class.
Absolutely.
And it will continue. So that's amazing. Where is Simon going to be a year from now, 5 years from now? What is this podcast going to look like? What are you going to be like as a person if you keep having these experiences?
I just know that I'm going to be a happier person, for sure. I would say I'm already really happy, but it's just like another level, right? As I described it before, during such a conversation, such a deep conversation, it's like feelings that you cannot. It's difficult to describe. You just have to be in that moment and to feel it. And I want to grow with that. And of course, I want to grow my podcast, my ideas. I want to reach as much people as possible. I want to influence their lives in a sustainable way. That's really important to me, the sustainability. Because I think a lot of other approaches out there are lacking that, the sustainability. So that's important. So as I said, probably my vision is that I could influence probably the health system in Switzerland. Probably going into politics. I do not know influencing those peoples, because there are a lot of stakeholders. There are economists, there are politicians, there are health workers, there are insurance companies. So I want to put them all together and find solutions that make healthcare better for everyone. That's my vision.
I would love it if you're a politician someday. And look, stranger things could happen, you know. And what a better way than to get your voice out there and to get people to understand your ideas and follow you than broadcasting. It's perfect. What if we walked out on the street right now and we bumped into the Simon that didn't take this course? What's that guy like that's different than you?
Definitely, I have more self-confidence. And in just 2 months, it was a great step forward. I would have considered me as self-confident before, but it's a different league now. And I think it has to do a lot because you get vulnerable, you talk about real things, you have to overcome resistance, you have to take ownership. So I think that's the biggest lesson that I learned. I myself, I am responsible for everything that happens in my life. And I hadn't had that before. And I think that's a really big step forward. So yeah, probably I'm not, or I see challenges or I see fear now as a way to grow. That's different. Fear is something also Michael in my last interview with him was saying that it's just like you have to embrace fear. You have to embrace your illness, but probably it's not an illness, it's just a thing that's part of you, of your body, of your soul, of your corpse. So be in touch with yourself And I think that I have learned in these 8 weeks, and that makes me a different person.
You are a different person. I can feel it. I love it. Lastly, thoughts on someone who's thinking about doing what you did, you know, joining the academy and learning how to broadcast themselves or learning how to do something like that. You know, obviously there's a lot of fear there. You even took a long time to decide. You know, what advice do you give to them?
I just would say, I think a lot of people have like this inner voice. They're suppressing, but they still can hear it. So just listen to that voice, overcome that fear, and do not think about all the bad stuff that could happen, because you forget the good stuff, because normally it's going to be that much better than you think. Of course, there are struggles, but with the struggles you can grow. So just overthink it, just do it. I think that's a lesson I learned too, because our brain is something, yes, a crazy part of our body, and can get really crazy. So it's just in our fear is in our mind, right? It's not out there. So just pull the trigger and think what good you could give to the world.
Amen to that. Look, Simon, I love your energy. I loved having you on the course. You know I love Ido Portal, and I'm moving my body in all sorts of new ways. I'm 46 and I'm moving every day, and I'm telling you, the movement itself is, I think, what keeps me injury-free, you know, and touch wood, but I just feel like I can keep doing these things by staying active and doing things. So I think your program is just going to be an amazing thing to help people realize that they don't have to live with this debilitating pain. There's other stuff they can do. And I can tell your confidence boost already, because I met you before the course,
yeah,
and I've seen you now. And it's a wonderful thing, you know? You can't pay for confidence. And confidence, it's almost the antidote to fear. And it can take you so far in life. You know, most of the people that you consider high performance and winning people, that's a lot of times the only thing they have. And by having that confidence, they push through all that doubt. So I'm very excited. Hopefully you'll be president of Switzerland one day, and I can come stay in the mansion, and we can laugh about the old days when you used to be on iTunes.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prem. It was an honor and it was great talking to you.
Thank you. Keep broadcasting, all right? And welcome to the family.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.